Cognizant has recently grilled a candidate very badly, okay? Because why I'm telling you, all the questions that a person never expect, all the questions that were asked to him. And this is an actual interview experience that I will gonna share to you. You are watching Prime Coding. My name is Aita Mishra, and let's begin with this tremendous interview. Okay, so moving forward with GenCProNEXT role. So GenCProNEXT role has a good package associated with this role, and I would say in HR and general question internship and skills, it's totally depend upon your resume. So you can't expect the same questions, but the question that you can expect, I wrote it here as these most questions were asked to him, but it was based on his personal challenges that he faced when he was building that project and much more. So the most common thing is, can you introduce yourself? So you need to introduce yourself, whatever you know, and what do you know about Cognizant? So here it is Cognizant, but in different company, it may be TCS, Accenture, Cognizant, Capgemini, and anything. So why do you want to work at Cognizant? So yes, simple question. What do you want? Why do you want to work at TCS, Accenture? These types of questions are very common in most of the service-based companies. So yes, prepare for this. So internships and skills. It's totally depend upon the internships that you have or skills that you have. But the main point before starting the core questions is, what skills and programming language are you proficient in? So this candidate said that I am proficient in C and C++. Now the story begins. What are header files in C? Okay, this question looks easy. Yes, it is easy. Whoever know it, because I personally know many people who don't know about header files and the preprocessor directives. So guys, these header files are those which you write in the very first line of any procedural oriented language. Yes, like stdio.h, like # include stdioh, and in C++ you might write like a standard input output library such as using namespace std, if you remember, is it? So yes, C contains declaration of functions, macros, and constant for use in programs. Now, as I am giving you a very basic and easy to understand definitions as well, so please try to read, okay, what is declaration of function, how you can do it, what is macros in the C program, what is constants. So you should know all this, okay? So is the main function is necessary in a C program? Yes, if you talk about any procedural oriented language, it is required. It is totally required. Like your code without main function, your code can be run, compiled, but it can't be executed. Okay, but it is required. So yes, the main function is required as it's an entry point. Because if you don't write main in your script, then how your compiler or interpreter will know, okay, where is the code or where should I start this code from? It is a most important thing to be used in your program in execution in C program. Great. So can a program compile? Okay, without a main function? Great. Yes, program can compile without main function, but it won't execute properly. Yes. So what are data types in C? Int, character, float, decimal, double. Okay, so data types define the type of data, and a variable can hold like integer for integers, char for characters, and float for decimals, etc. Okay, so explain external, static, global variables in C. So these are the more basic questions that you should know. Global, in which you can declare it in globally and it can be used throughout any functions or any of the code snippet which is available on that script. Static, if you declare something using static, the value can't be changed. The value will be constant throughout all the function calls or throughout the program. External variables are defined globally and accessible across files, similar like global. Now, let me know in the comment section, what is the difference between external and global? Okay, difference. Now, static variables retain their value across the function calls, as I said, and global variables are accessible throughout the program. Okay, so we covered a very easy type of question, not medium. Now starts with a new thing. Okay, so what is pointer and what are the different types of pointer? So we all know that pointers are void pointer, which will not return anything, and a null pointer, which will pointing towards null, and I would say it has no values. Okay, so these are the typical types. A pointer is a variable that stores a memory address. Let it be any variable, the memory address is being stored. Okay, like if you remember, we can use the address using ampersand symbol, is it? And pointer has been declared using star operator. So types include void pointer, which is no type, as I say, and null pointer, no address, and a function pointers. So yeah, these are the types, and please try to remember the definitions using pictorial representation, which will fit into your mind for long. Okay, so what are tokens and literals? Okay, these are the questions I hope you might study in your first semester if you have C in your curriculum. Okay, so tokens are the basic elements like keywords. What are keywords? Like const, then you have int, we have float. These are keywords. Okay, so identifier, constants, like literals are constant values like 5 or a. So these are the literals. I gave you the example. So keyword, like in C++, if you see, you have a keyword of sort. Is it sort, which is undefined? That is called keywords, I would say, which is inbuilt keywords. So what are the control statements? So control statements are used to direct program flow. What program flow? Okay, you called a function, so this could be called as control statement, which the function has been called and your function is ran. Okay, so like if else for a branching and switch case for multiple conditions. Great. So if else switch case is also look like a control statement. If your if condition has been true, you need to execute this. Otherwise, you need to execute the else body. What is the difference between declaration and definition of a variable? Okay, so declaration specify variable type without allocating memory. Okay, like you declared a class, but until then you're not calling that class or not calling that function, the memory would not be allocating to that. Okay, so while definition allocates memory for it. Okay, like in C program, if you declare in the above itself, the compiler will know, okay, this function is there anywhere in the script, I need to execute it. So memory would be allocated. So how are negative numbers stored in memory? Okay, so negative numbers, if you studied computer organization or EC, like computer organizations and a microprocessor where you deal with complements, then you might know here we use to's complement, okay, to declare it, because they're MSB or the left bit or the sum of the right bit declare it whether it is positive or negative. Okay, so negative numbers are typically stored in the memory using 2's complement, as I said, representation, where you need to convert a decimal number into 8-bit binary digit, then you need to invert all the digit, then you need to add 1, I guess. Okay, so yeah, this is a way you can store the negative numbers stored in memory. Now let me know, you should know how many questions that you are able to give the answers. Now the story starts with C++ language questions. Okay, so what are the data types in C? Same, integer, float, double, character, derived types like arrays and pointers. Okay, so explain the difference between arrays and linked list, which is most of the time being asked. So arrays is a fixed size but and a contiguous memory structure, while linked list are dynamic. Okay, you can add anytime, you don't need to specify the sizes there, with elements nodes connected by pointer, allowing efficient insertions and deletions. Perfect. So these questions are very simple, so I will not in-depthly explain you that, but the question that you should know properly, I will explain you that properly. Okay, so what is the memory storage type for arrays? Great. Arrays are stored in contiguous sequential block of memory. Great. So these are the memory storage of array, which is contiguous. What is contiguous? In the memory, you will declare a full size of array, the much you specify the size. Okay, let's say you specify the size of 5. So 5 or how many blocks it is there, like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's say you declare a 6 variable. It will be allocated continuously in the memory. Okay, everything would be there in the single way. So what is static memory and how it is used? So static memory is allocated at compile time, as name itself say it's static, and if you can relate it with your polymorphism, static means compile time. Okay, so this is where you need to revise the other stuff as well, which I personally do. So persist for program duration and is used for static variables that are retain their value across the function calls. If you have a function, like you have multiple functions, so what you can do is, if you need, let's say n, where n value should always be 5, it should not be changed, but this n value can be used in multiple function calls, so you can use a static word, keyword, which will help you to retain this value throughout all the function calls. Okay, so explain call by value versus call by reference. Great. Now call by value is, you can pass the value, but the value content could be not changed. Okay, could be changed. What I mean to say is, copy of the argument is passed, leaving the original unchanged. Let's say you have original is 5 array values, or let's say you have n value as 5, and you are in call by value, which is Java or Python. If you pass this up, the actual value won't be changed, but you can change in the function calls. Okay, but in call by reference, if you pass this using C++ or C, you can change the actual value of it as well. So this is the value of call by value and call by reference. You can go through the definitions, as I wrote definitions for you all. You just pause the screen and try to take a note of it, whatever you want to. Okay, so now the more crush in-depth question comes to the picture. What is shallow copy and deep copy? Now people will think, copy, deep copy, what is this? Actually, I'm talking about shallow copy constructor. Okay, shallow copy constructor and a deep copy constructor. Now, what it means, how it is different than others, you know, I hope most of the people don't know this, because this question is totally there. And if you are not able to give the answer of it, then totally you will lose your next opportunity, or you can totally expect these questions in your pro opportunities as well. So what shallow copy means, let's say you created a constructor inside a function, which is document1. Okay, let's say you have, okay, what happened? Let's say you have a document constructor. Okay, in a class C, you have a document constructor. When you initialize an object and call this will be executed, and you again created a shallow copy constructor of doc1 to doc2. So what happened here is, all the content, all the pages which is present in doc1 would be copied to doc2, and both of the main constructor and the shallow constructor is pointing on the same memory address. Okay, so if you make changes in doc1, it will reflect in doc2. Okay, I hope you got it. If you change one page, let's say you delete one page, it will happen the same in doc2 as well. The one page would be removed. So this is the thing about shallow copy constructor. Now, if you talk about deep constructor, okay, now deep copy constructor, what it means is, I will tell you. Let's say in same example, you have a class where the document1 is in the constructor. You called it, constructor has been called, and doc1 has been created. Now you created a deep copy. You created a deep copy of this doc1, which is doc2 is being created. Now these both are pointing on the different addresses, which means they are not correlated with each other. If you make changes in doc1, it will not happen in doc2, and vice versa. Okay, so this is the thing present in deep copy constructor, and I hope I am clear with these examples. You can say in the interview as well. So shallow copy duplicates only the memory address of the object, while deep copy duplicates the actual object, including dynamically allocated memory they point to. These are the definition, but all the crux that I told, it is this only. Okay, so try to make note of it. Now, what is modular? Modular name itself say something in chunks. Okay, like this is module 1, this is module 2. So this is a way to store in modular. Okay, so modular programming divides a program. Okay, as name states, I built a pictorial representation because this thing was fit into my mind, and see, the definition is also around that only. Divides a program into smaller chunks. Let's say your whole BTech course curriculum is divided into multiple chunks in modules, is it? So yeah, divide problems into smaller independent modules or functions, improving maintainability and reusability. Fantastic. How would you identify a circular linked list? What do you mean by circular linked list, Aditya? So let's say you have a linked list like this, and you have something like this as well. So this is a circular loop that is occurring in my linked list. Okay, it could be singly, it could be doubly. But how you can fetch this out? Using two-pointer approach. Okay, two-pointer approach, or people usually say as slow and fast pointer approach. Okay, where you can use one pointer for slow and next pointer for fast, and the slow pointer will only jump one time and a fast pointer will jump on 2 times on every iteration. So at any point of time, it will be reach to the same node where slow and fast is on the same node. Okay, I will repeat myself, which is if you do this particular operation where your slow hops 1 and fast hops 2, so anytime if you just run it and forget about that, if anytime you found that your slow and fast is on the same node, which means that particular linked list has a circular weight into it, or I would say circular connection into it. Okay, so you just need to return false or true. Okay, so use tortoise and hare. So this is the particular approach. The slow and fast pointer approach is totally called as tortoise and hare approach. Two pointer, as I told, move at a different speed, and if they meet, the list is circular. Now, what is hashing? Hashing in cybersecurity, what it is? If you are sending some data, it would be hashed so that if some third party has been interfered in the network, he will not able to read that particular message. He need to decrypt it in particular manner. Okay, so hashing is a technique to map data to a fixed size of integer value like hash code, and is commonly used for hash tables for efficient data retrieval. Okay, that thing I told in related to cybersecurity, but here in the terms of programming, this makes sense. Okay, this makes sense where you have a hash code associated with every data which you can map it so that it will be efficiently retrieved. Okay, so this is the particular thing. It more likely looks like a hash map. Okay, so yeah, let's talk about the DBMS question, which is what are the normal forms in database design, which is normal form, which is 1F, 2NF, 3NF and BCNF. So you should know all the formulation. Like in 1NF, we remove the redundancy first, we create multiple tables, we have multiple columns. In what do you do in third NF, how it is different than second NF, and how third NF is different than BCNF, you should know that. Our guidelines to organize databases, reducing redundancy, which is totally used, normalization is totally used for reducing the redundancy and improving data integrity. Fantastic. What is indexing? So indexing, if I tell you with an example, it is related to the book having the index table. Okay, instead of going through all these chapters, whatever you want to, if you want to read, let's say a chapter, you can just go on that particular index or page number, you will get towards that particular chapter. But you don't need to go through whole book to find that chapter, which is totally relatable to the indexing definition. Let's see. Indexing creates a data structure to improve the speed of data retrieval. If you can see in the index that yes, chapter A, B, C is on this particular page number, so I can directly move towards that page instead of scrolling all the page up to this particular page number. It will definitely increase my retrieval speed. Yes, by mapping keys to the associated records efficiently, as I said. Okay, but indexing, there are two types, which is clustered and non-clustered. In cluster, if I will give you an example, in cluster indexing, we sort the full database, okay, or I would say tables in a particular manner so that it will be easy to retrieve. Okay, which means as based on primary key, okay, whatever primary key you have in your table, will sort this column who is primary key in that particular table, then so that the data retrieval stuff would be more faster. Here you are changing the physical schema, like you are just changing the physical detail in the disk. Okay, let's say your customer 1 is from ABC and your customer 2 is from DGC, which actually on the 2, but you feel that the name is a primary key. If you sort it, your customer ID would be replaced. Okay, I give you a very rough idea, but yes, if you sort a column which is primary key in that table, which will help you to retrieve the data faster. Okay, when you know it is on 10, so you just need to go on the 10th row where your data has been stored. So this is the clustered indexing. Now non-clustered indexing is, what I will say is, here you change the physical order of the thing. Firstly, we'll see the definition. I will give you more intuitive example of non-clustered. Okay, so cluster index determines the physical order of data in a table, and it is unique per table. As I tell you, unique per table, which means primary key of that particular table, while non-clustered index creates a separate structure for data access without changing the table data order. Okay, what I mean to say is, let's say you have a product database where you have a table product. Okay, you have a product table where you have P name, which is product name, then you have P price of that particular product, then you have many things. Okay, many things, let's say. But let's say you have iPad, you have mobile, you have a laptop, then again you have mobile, then again you have laptop. Okay, so let me mark the rows as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what actually happened in non-clustered indexing is, if I see, okay, users are more likely prone to the product name, they usually search laptop. So laptop, they can either search laptop, they can either search mobile or iPad. Okay, so what I will do here is, I will apply data structure on product name, which means I am changing the physical order of the table. In clustered, I was doing the same thing in presenting the table, but here I am creating the new stuff, which is p name, which is sorted in a manner. Sorting is totally a data structure that we're gonna use. So it will be sorted as per these ASCII values. So a, whatever a or something will be there, like I, let's say A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, then we have K, L, M. So let me see. Mobile should come at the last, but what is coming for very forward is iPad. So iPad will come at the very first point. Okay, then we have mobile with us. So M, I can see it is in the very end. So L is before M, is it? So it will come as laptop. It will come as laptop, then we will have a mobile, if I'm not wrong. Okay, so yeah, you have a product name, and the second thing you will store here is reference. What do you mean by reference, Aditya? Reference will store, okay, iPad is on the row 1 we have, okay, laptop we have on row 3 and we have on row 5. Mobile I have on it would be mobile I have on 2 and 4. So row 2 and row 4 I have my mobile. So what it will happen is, if I search on product laptop, I will directly come up to here and I will know that on row 3 and row 5 I have laptop there. So I will use limit offset to find that particular thing. With how I can use offset here, let's say you know that, okay, from row 3 or on row 3 I have the laptop data. So I will just write offset. After whole query, I will write offset starts with 2. So it will directly go to the 3 and I will put the limit 1. So it will directly start from 2 and leave at 1, and that particular result would be given to the user. Okay, similarly 5, 6 and much more. Yes, so this is non-clustered indexing example, where you are changing the physical order, you are applying data structure on a particular column, and you are storing the reference row number in that particular product name. iPad present on this row, this present on this row. So I hope you are cleared with clustered and non-clustered example, is it? So now let's hop on OOPS concept. So what is object-oriented programming? Most of the people used to ask this to check whether he know or not. And people say inheritance, directly usually say, sir, they have many pillars which provide to us, which is encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism, abstractions. But the definition is, OOPS is programming parenting based on objects. Okay, because without objects, object-oriented programming is nothing, which contain data and functions promoting concepts like encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism, and abstraction. Great. So what is polymorphism and what are its types? You need to see. So polymorphism allows an interface to be used. See, if polymorphism comes in the picture, so directly they want to listen about compile time and the runtime, which is overloading and overriding. You just need to know about the code snippet as well, because they usually ask this. How and why I am telling you, you will get to know, okay, about the code. Please stay calm. I will not explain this polymorphism because I explained multiple times. It's been changed according to the context of the program. It may change in compile time, it will run time. There are many keywords are also present in both of them. You need to go through. So explain the difference between runtime and overloading. Everyone know runtime occurs during the executions and involves subclass redefining base class functions. Then you have a static polymorphism, which has the same function name but different signatures. Okay, so what are abstraction, or what is abstraction? Hides the complex details from the user, so exposing only essential features typically through abstract class and interfaces. What is the difference between abstract and interfaces? Telling you the follow-up as well. What is the inheritance? Totally about the base class and the subclass. You can define a new subclass using the base class. Derived class using the base class. Yes, so you should know all the types as well, what all the present types there in the inheritance. But The main question is, what is the difference between pure virtual function and virtual function, and in which polymorphism it should come in? So it should come in runtime polymorphism about virtual functions. Okay, so pure virtual function has no implementation in the base class. Base class is the main class and must be overridden in the derived class. Derived class is the child class, whereas the virtual function may have a base implementation but can be overridden, which you can use again and again in multiple derived class. And the interviewer said to write the code on the on the script. Okay, he gave the pen paper, you need to write it there. So virtual void process double amount will be there. This is a virtual function, pure virtual function. Okay, because you can see we don't have anything else has been defined here. So this is pure virtual function. It's just an empty body has been created in the base class. Okay, and display transaction message is a virtual function in this particular code or in particular class, where it is transaction has been processed which has a body inside it. So if you have body, it is virtual class. If you don't have body, it is pure virtual class. And why you will not have body? Because it is being changing on the runtime, or it depends upon the calls. Because you can see we have a credit card derived class, PayPal derived class, which is derived from payment method. Payment method is a base class. So void process payment double amount override. See, override keyword you are using and count processing client card payment of rupees amount is here is default set as 0, but you are passing the amount which is coming from the main class. Okay, or I would say from main function. So yes, this is the use of pure virtual function. You can pass it as you want on the runtime. Okay, we want to use a pure virtual function to print something, you can use in using derived classes. Okay, so yes, PayPal, the same thing has been happening, but the thing here is display transaction message is common. Okay, display transaction message is common, like credit card payment method is successful, and processing payment PayPal amount of rupees itna amount, which is a pure function, and you can totally expect in display transaction message, which you are overriding the stuff. How we are overriding in the main or in the base class, you can see it is written that transaction is being processed, but here in the derived class you can see credit card payment is successful, which is overridden as per the requirement. We are passing that particular derived class and getting those information. That's it. I'm done from my side. As you can see, we are doing the same thing. Firstly, it should do 100 in the credit card, in PayPal 150. Then we have credit.display, then PayPal.display, and that's it about the pure and virtual class. And I shown you the very easy example as well. So please try to write the code of it. Not only the code of pure and virtual function, try to write the code of inheritance, polymorphisms as well, because you don't know what they will ask you in your interview. Okay, so as many of the people have these issues and they are getting rejected from the interview, please don't do these mistakes. Okay, so worried about being rejected due to poor communication skills. People used to declare themselves at the very beginning itself that they don't have a good communication skills and they will definitely get rejected. So you don't need to think like that. Okay, whatever I have, whatever I know, how I speak, I will accept that and I will start improving myself and explain the way that I want to. Okay, the time you have, you can use to improve your communication. You are okay, but okay, before interview, don't feel underconfident. Try to be confident whatever level of communication you have. Okay, so do you feel nervous and lack confidence when it matters most, which is in HR and MR? Okay, mostly in HR MR, where the questions are very easy, but the task here is, firstly, they will test your technical. And if you're not able to answer those technical questions, your confidence level will go down drastically. And due to your lack of confidence, you will not able to show your confidence in HR and MR questions, where your confidence plays an important role. So yes, you need to be very confident, or your confidence chart should be saturated throughout the interview. Whether you know the answer, whether you don't know the answer, you should be confident there. Okay, forget answer during interviews. Most of the time, people say, I'm not able to recall my answer at that point of time. I studied, I know that, but due to nervousness, due to some issues, I was not able to recall that. So this is the big problem that you don't need to do. Uncertain if your resume makes the right impression. Mostly people have a single page resume that you should have, but the content that you have written is not in the proper sequence. It is not in the proper manner. You just wrote anything for just sake of resume. And this is the very bad thing that most of the people do. You should have a resume properly. Okay, so lack of expert guidance on where you are going wrong. So this is the main important part, because the people who crack these companies on their time, then definitely they will tell you how you can crack it. Okay, so yes, all this problem has only one solution, which is one-to-one mock session, where we'll provide you in-depth technical mock interview, which will test your resume based questions, your core questions, your communication question, your HR and MR questions. It will be around 1 hour intuitively, and it will give you full interview simulation where you will get nervous, you will not able to answer, you will see your performance, you will see your communication, and will also let you know how you can improve yourself. Personalized feedback and expert guidance, totally depending upon your session that we observed, how you can overcome your weakness, how you can work on yourself, where you are lagging, how you can improve yourself. Mentorships, guidance will be given to you. So it will around 90 minutes, or I would say 80 to 90 minutes of session, you are getting it, guys. 80 to 90 minutes, not 15 to 20 minutes. In 15 to 20 minutes, what you can do, what we will give to you, okay? 80 to 90 minutes, 1 hour of session, rest, your resume where we'll fix your weakness so that your resume stand out from the crowd. We'll tell you how you can fix yourself, what is a weakness in you, and what things that you need to neglect, so that you can transform your interview opportunity and convert it to the offer letter, so that you can make your parents proud. For that, you just need to visit www.primecoding.in, and there is the place which will help you from these particular problems. So yes, you need to watch this particular video for GenC role and GenC Pro role, where I built all the questions that I got from multiple candidates, and this contains good amount of questions for the next people as well. Do watch it. Okay, so only SQL DBMS in-depth question is to be done. Please do it. And yes, thanks for watching this video. If you're watching, please do consider like this video if you are getting more information from this mode through, and please share this channel. Please subscribe if you have not, and make your friends learn about everything that you are learning from this channel. Okay, so we'll meet you with a new video soon. Until then, see you off.